Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. You don't know how excited I am to have the very first guest ever on the TED Show back with me today. The one and only broad perspective lady herself, Gert Garman's on the show. What's up, Gert? You look amazing. How's it going?
Hey, it's going well. It's going well. So I never really realized I would have to be potty trained again and have to learn to walk again. But it's all good. It's just kind of,
Hey, you have taken this by storm, and I want to talk about that in a minute. But give them
Okay.
a little bit of background on you so you know, and then let's take a deep dive into the very French-sounding syndrome that I'm going to let you pronounce in a minute.
Sure. So background, oh my gosh, I've worked for the city of Orlando. I've worked for UCF. I'm a diehard UCF fan. I've worked for Valencia. I've worked for Disney. So I have been like, if you ever think about San Francisco and Lombard Street, how it goes, wee, 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 that,
Yeah.
that's my resume, baby. So
And then you
I've been
created
so
your
lucky.
own.
Yeah. And I've been so lucky to find so many wonderful people along the way who I've just kind of, they stuck with me and I've stuck with them. And, like you and me, how we went to UCF together and we're still
Many moons
friends.
ago, and yes, it
I
was
don't-
UCF, so no FTU jokes.
No, we're not that old. But sorry for the FTU people. We're not saying anything bad about you.
No, you're good, Grandma, Grandpa, you're fine. Um, so you've had your own company. Broad Perspective is yours. So I went ahead and scrolled
Yeah.
that across the bottom.
Okay, cool.
You have been an amazing speaker, engagement person, inspirational
Facilitator.
person,
Yeah.
all those
Yeah.
wonderful things. And then you have had health challenges. So
Yeah.
that's really what we're going to focus on today, because the awareness is really important. Before we went live, we were talking about, like, Stacy has rheumatoid arthritis. And so
Yeah.
that's that underlying thing that people really can't tell you have, but you're always in pain. Talk about the journey and then give us the correct pronunciation in your beret of the actual syndrome.
Yeah, so it's really weird. I started losing all the feeling in my legs and my hands, and I didn't know what was wrong. And so I went to the emergency room many times. I got to be on a first name basis with most of the people in the fire station in College Park because they had to keep coming and picking me up off the ground. God love them. So, I mean, it was really crazy, and I lost the use of my legs and my hands. And so, but nobody knew what was wrong with me. And months went by and it's very painful. And finally, I found this wonderful neurologist in Winter Park. And her name, I'm going to give her a shout out because she is on Facebook. But her name is Dr. Jareth. But because, like me, she likes all the fun accessories and she's got blingy everything, I call her Dr. Bling. And so
Dr.
she just thinks,
Blaine.
yeah, Dr. Bling. So she thinks that's hilarious, but it's all good. Yeah. And she's fantastic. And she actually just took the time to ask me questions and listen. And all of a sudden, after 2 hours, she goes, I know what you have. And you have what we call GBS. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she's like, oh, it's called Guillain-Barre Syndrome. And I was like, oh, is that
Oui,
French?
oui.
I know, right? And I was like, that's French. And I love Paris. So pop on, doc. I mean, if I'm going to get a disease, it should have a sexy name.
Well, it should. It fits you. And I say that in the most loving way. But if you're going to have one, it better sound pretty. And it better be like have a gorgeous little name ringtone to it. But what was it like for you to finally get that diagnosis? Because this wasn't just an immediate thing. You went through hell for a very long time trying to figure it out. Tell them about that process.
Yeah, so it was just trying to find out what was wrong. And I had been in another nursing home prior to this one. And, I was exercising with PT and I was doing all my stuff, but we didn't know what we were solving for. So, like, I could do all the exercises I wanted, but hey, we had no idea what was wrong. So when she said that, I mean, literally, I started crying. I was like, oh my God, I have a diagnosis. Now I know what I can, like, work towards. And so then she had me come in immediately the next day, but I had to go in on a stretcher because I couldn't sit in a chair for very long at a time. And so I went to see her 2 weeks ago as a follow-up, 8 months later. And she started crying. She got tears in her eyes. And she was just like, God, the last time you were here, you were on a stretcher. And I was like, and look at me now. So she was like, I know. So it was really cool. And, again, I still can't quite walk yet, but I have come a long way. I can use my hands, obviously, since I'm talking with them. But, I couldn't even pick up a potato chip there for a while. So,
and for someone as active as you are and have always been since I've known you, that must have been the difficult part. I mean, not knowing is painful enough, but then losing motor skills and realizing nobody has an answer for me yet.
Right.
At least the answer gives you some sort of, okay, now I know what I'm working against.
Right. Yeah. So and then I was like, oh, I don't even know what this is. So then we all started, doing research, all my friends and family. And so now now we know what it is. It's really interesting because people still don't really know how you get it, but I think I got it. So there's like 3 ways, apparently. One is from the flu shot, oddly enough. I never had a flu shot, so mine didn't come from there. Another one is hereditary. I don't have anybody in my family, and I have a huge family who has this. And then another's if you have some kind of procedure done at the hospital and you get injected with somebody else's cooties, right? So I had my gallbladder out a couple years ago and I had to have 3 blood transfusions. And so we think that's where it came from. But it's really weird. And I am so grateful and thankful because yes, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of the spectrum of GBS because some people are paralyzed. I mean, up to their faces, they have to be trached. They can't do anything. I was so lucky that I'm kind of in the middle. So a lot of people snap right back and they can walk like a couple months later. I'm kind of I'm in the middle. I'm still not walking, but I can stand. But it's a lot of.
What's the prognosis on that? Tell us, because you're very good about posting and keeping us as in touch and abreast of what's going on as possible. You've made so much progress. Is the ultimate progress for you to walk again and to get out of where you're at? Because we had a lot of people before we went live. People sometimes get shy about asking this, but I'm not going to be shy about it. What's the ultimate for you? What is the big reveal when you have finally gotten to a point? Is it to walk out of the hospital or out of the facility? Is it to be functional on your own completely? What's the ultimate goal?
It's kind of a yes and. I don't know how much I'll ever be able to walk again. I would love to take a few dance steps. One of my kids, one of my former student athletes when I was in athletics at UCF, he's getting married in October, and I would really like to be able to dance with him at his wedding. But I kind of feel like I'm going to have a bit of a hybrid of a life too. So I've got a groovy scooter ordered, and so I'll be that girl that's going to brunch in my scooter. Beep, beep, beep. Come on, Ted, meet me there. And so I've got that. I've got a walker. I'm going to have all this stuff just in case, because I think it really affects you fatigue-wise too. So like if I have a big week and then I want to go do something on the weekend, I may not be able to do it on my own by walking. And the neurologist kind of said that too. She's like, you can still have a big life and it's just going to be a little bit different. And that's okay. So
but it's still your life. You're still driving the scooter, so to speak.
Exactly.
Tell us about symptoms. So you talked a little bit about what your symptoms were, but obviously this is one of those disease syndromes where it's trial and error to get to it. You have to go through a lot of testing to eliminate things so that they can finally come to a diagnosis. So what are some of the things that somebody's out there? There's a lot of people out there suffering that don't know what they're suffering with. Give them some rundown of some basic symptoms.
So it's an autoimmune disease. So there's a lot of people with autoimmune diseases, so they'll understand what I'm talking about. And so it does affect, like, this whole COVID thing has been really interesting for me, right? Because I'm like, please don't hug me and kiss me. Please, please don't. I mean, and you know me, I'm a hugger, so that's really hard for me to say. But yeah, it's just a matter of, I'm in chronic pain like every day, but I've kind of blocked it out at this point. I'm like, well, right? It's not a big deal. So, and some days are worse than others, but you know, it is what it is. So, so I'm just kind of dealing with that. And but the numbness is a big thing. If you feel that you're starting to go numb in any of your, you know, limbs, then please go to the emergency room and please ask them to test for GBS.
So when you
Because that's the
test
other
for
thing.
it, what do they have to do a blood test? I really don't know. So I think it's fascinating
Yeah.
to learn. Is it a series of blood tests? What actually finally gets to the point where they go, this is what you got?
So when they do a nerve conduction test, so they'll do blood, you know, I think I had 19 tubes of blood that they tested or whatever. I was like, woo, a vampire has come to my house. So, so that, and then a nerve conduction test, you know, just to see if if your nerves are even firing into the right places, you know, and because this syndrome specifically is where your immune system takes over your nervous system. And so your nerves are firing, but nothing's getting to the right place, right? So so that, and just to always, you know, kind of test for those kind of things. They also can do it through a spinal tap, but I never had to have that because she diagnosed me. So yeah, I know you're smiling, and I'm like, no, it's not like the group, and I know.
Well, you know
So
that's our joke. We have the wicked sense of humor. I mean, I
yes,
think of all these things, and I know you're telling a very passionate and impassioned story, but when you say Spinal Tap, that's the very first thing
of course. I look at you and I'm like, oh, come on, Ted, really? But I got to tell you, living in a nursing home is a trip. Okay. So, you know, everybody's like, you should write a book about all the funny experiences. And I am at the end of a hallway right now where there's some crazy stuff that goes down every day. And I'm just like, two of my friends were just here and they brought me lunch and they're like, is it like that out there all the time? I go, oh, yeah, man. And I am the hall
Is that
monitor.
how you kept your sanity? Is that how, because COVID was visitors and because of everything, it's just crazy. But I would say that your posts were always positive.
Yep.
What did you do internally to stay positive? It's a lot of work. And guys, this isn't just physical work. This is mental, wrapping your head around this is how my life's going to be and I need to make the best of it. Here's what I do. How did you do that?
Well, you know, I'm a creative thinker anyway, so I'm always like looking for the yes and stuff. And my thing is, okay, I can sit here and boohoo cry like a big baby, or I can just take it and grab it by the kahoonies and just roll with it, right? I mean, and not every day is like, you know, confetti and unicorns, but I try to make it fun, you know? I mean, so yeah, there's this, there's that. I love the caregivers here because again, I'm educating people. Not everybody knows what GBS is. And so, and I didn't know what it was before I got it, you know? So, so then they know, you know, how to act with me or whatever. But, you know, I mean, it's all out there, Ted. I mean, you know, I'm just starting to transfer into the chair myself. So I've been wearing a brief, you know, which is a diaper, for the last year and a half. And let me tell you, that's really interesting. So there is no modesty in my world anymore. You know, it is what it is.
Well, there can't be.
Right, right. Or else I'm not going to get clean. So, but there's like, you know, so many lovely, compassionate people that do this work. I just can't say enough about them. They're awesome. So,
And
you know,
that's what I've noticed from your posts. And I love that you have, well, you know, you've planted so many seeds and changed so many lives along the way that I loved watching that journey. People showing up outside your window,
yeah,
people
that's been fun.
supporting you, people. And I think that there's this whole community love. I think a lot of people don't know what to do for you. So I'm going to ask, is there something you enjoy? Is there something that you love getting? Do you like messages on Facebook, candy? People really do want to know, but then they're afraid to ask. And so I'm like, well, then I'll ask for you. Let's do it. So tell us what we can do to best help.
Yeah, people have been lovely. I mean, oh my gosh, you and Stacy sent me all those yummy things from nuts.com and I loved it because whenever I get that food and I get that kind of stuff, I share it with the staff that take care of me, you know, because they're not making a ton of money, right? And they're giving amazing care. So I just share the wealth, you know. People have sent me books. People have sent me funny hats, you know. I toned it down. I had another hat picked out for you, Ted, but I was like, you know. So, and plus I wanted to
You'd have
talk
been
about
fine.
I know.
like the beret.
but I wanted to talk about my French named sex disease, so yeah, so I mean, anything people do is just lovely, and I'm so appreciative of it. So the other thing I'm doing, I think you might have seen this on Facebook, but there's so many people in here that don't get mail or don't get visits. So I put it out on Facebook that I wanted to do this, and it's good for my hands too, to do writing. And so people have sent me markers and paper and note cards and stuff from all over the country, and I'm writing them out, and I'm calling it Notes to Neighbors. But that way, all the other 119 people that are in here with me, they're all going to get mail. So it's taking me longer than I thought it would. I was like, oh, 120 cards, I can do that. And then I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. So, but it's all good, and so everybody's going to get a little something, something, just so they know that they're thought of. So
what's the best way for people to find out more about GBS? Is there a site? Is there groups?
Yeah, there's a site, there's a foundation. So if you just Google GBS and then /CIDP foundation. So CIDP is GBS, that's chronic. And that's kind of where I've jumped to, but right. I'm not going to start putting CIDP on everything because, oh my God, that's a whole nother education thing, So, and plus CIDP is not French sexy. Hello. So, we got to stick with what we stick with. Yeah. So
we like the French sexy.
Hello. Oui.
So,
I know. Bonjour.
When Haley hears me say that, she's going to die, by the way.
But yeah, so just Google it and find out more. And honestly, if you feel like somebody in your family has these symptoms, reach out to me on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, any of the social media platforms, because I'm happy to talk to anybody about this. So now that I know a little bit, maybe almost enough to be dangerous, I'm happy to give my diagnosis. So, but I want to introduce you to Crush too.
Hi, Crush.
That's Crush. So Crush, well, not quite Crush, but the turtle is the mascot of our disease, because it's GBS stands for getting better slowly, and slow and steady wins the race. So we're all about, Crush and the turtles. And so we call it #turtle_power. So
love it.
Yeah. But my new hashtag for myself is #fab while I rehab. So again,
fab while I rehab. In most circumstances, I hate that word rehab, but for you, I 100%. In this instance, I'm a big supporter of that. Exactly. I want people to I want people to know. One of the reasons I want to do the show, not just because to bring awareness, but because I want people to hear you speaking and see you and know that this progress you made is just wonderful, miraculous, a blessing, and that you are still Gert, the same Gert you've always been. I had somebody say to me, is it okay if I reach out to her? People, if you don't know, you don't know. And so the point of the show, other than awareness, is for people to see you and see that this is really you, and you are the exact same amazing, creative, wonderful Gert that you've always been.
Thank you, love. I do want to tell you one more thing I'm working on while I'm in here.
Tell me.
So I'm creating a board game for kids, and it's around empathy. And so I want people to have empathy, and it speaks to everything that's going on in the world, but also to people who may have a disability, So, for kids to learn early that they need to stop, put themselves in someone else's shoes, and then be able to deal with them, So it's a fun game. We're getting it. I have an illustrator working on, the board. Yeah. So it's going to be really cool. So, that, and I'm working on, I want to get the sexy voice on the IV bag thing. So, instead of it beeping, it says, "Good, it's time to change, wee. So that kind of thing. So if anybody has patent experience, let me know, because I'll cut you in if you help me.
I love that. I love you. I appreciate you. I think you are just one of those inspirational people. You always were, and then this challenge got thrown at you, and you handle it with the grace and humor and love and compassion that I knew you would. I wish you wouldn't have to deal, but the way that you've dealt with it is such an example for people. And so kudos to you. I think what you're doing is amazing. I want you to come
Hey,
back
you know
anytime. And I want you guys who are watching.
You know what this
What's
means
that?
for you, though, buddy? When I get out of here,
Tell me.
you're buying me French champagne. So, and we're going to
You're
enjoy it
damn right
together.
I'm buying you French champagne. I
Awesome.
might go have a bottle now just in your honor.
Take a picture and send it to me then.
Cheers. Will. I need one of those snazzy berets you have. All right, I've got Gert's website scrolling across there, but I've tagged her. You can reach out to her. She wants that. It's good for all of us to reach out and to stay involved. And if you know anybody who's suffering with these, or you're suffering with the same kinds of symptoms, reach out to Gert. She'll direct you. But don't let it run its course without you really trying to get the help. And now that we've been made aware of it, let's keep getting it out there. All right, I love you to pieces. That was perfect. Oui, oui.
Love you too. Oui, oui, baby. Okay.
Oui, oui, baby. All right, Gert Garman, proudperspective.net, or just reach out to her on social media. You can't miss her. She's amazing. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Everybody have a good one.